Power 7 Podcast. Good morning. Once again, it's your boy, the almighty Nicodemus, back in effect again on another blessed morning. Blessed to be alive. Blessed to be out here moving and grooving. And if you got 2 arms, 2 legs, and 1 head to get out here and make it happen for you and yours, whether you like it or not, you are blessed too. Once again, it's the Power 7 Podcast. What's going on, peoples? Today's topic, mental health. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at Twitter. I got off work yesterday. I'm checking Twitter and see somebody ask, is mental health at an all-time high? And I was like, pondering and looking at the different reasons. Some people said social media. Some people said, nowadays we know, what certain things are where we didn't have an answer to it. Which then I woke up this morning, I'm doing my daily routine, I'm watching the news, and I noticed that when I get out the shower, the news is still on, and there's an interview with I don't know if she's a psychiatrist, a therapist, or a psychologist. But either way it go, there's an interview with this person, and they're talking about, I'm catching the tail end of it, and they're like, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you may need to get recovery, get therapy to recover, getting out of that relationship. And it got me thinking about the question I read on Twitter yesterday and some of the responses. And it's just like, why are we overreacting to the mental health thing? Because I understand that, of course, people didn't know what the mental health issues were at one point. We didn't know the answers to some of the things. And now that we do have an answer, I'm just wondering, are we overreacting to it? Are we blowing it up? Because just because somebody's an asshole, or just because somebody's selfish, or just because somebody's a bitch, or whatever it is, whatever ugly personality trait a person may have, that might not necessarily make them a narcissist. That might just make them an asshole or a sucker or whatever the case may be. That might just it. Again, because the one thing the lady said at the end of it, she's like, well, there's really not a cure for narcissism. But, the people who have it, they can seek therapy, and they can also, maybe get some medication. And I'm like, there it is. That's that overreaction. And humans, we're still a young species, whether we recognize it or not. We've always had a case of once we maybe recognize something or understood what something was, we've always had this thing throughout history where we feel this need to overreact to things. And part of overreacting to things is part of capitalism. Because once people are overreacting to things and pointing out things, there's going to be somebody who's going to say, you know what? I'm going to make money off of that. And they ain't been doing that with this mental health shit, just like they did it with a lot of kids with the ADHD thing. Every little thing was ADHD, which I'm not going to say ADHD ain't a real thing, but I guarantee there are a bunch of kids who got diagnosed with ADHD and there wasn't shit wrong with them. They probably ain't even have it. They got diagnosed with it. They got put on some drugs just so they can sit down and shut up. And there probably was no ADHD involved. Now, I'm not sitting up here saying that there weren't any people with it, just like I'm not going to say there aren't any narcissists. But once you start pointing out shit and be like, that's what it is, capitalism going to do what it's going to do, and humans are going to do what we do, and that's overreacting. And I feel like that's an ongoing thing that's been going on with this mental health shit that you hear constantly every day, which always makes me think it's some bullshit and it's too much. It's an overreaction to something that wasn't recognized. And I get it. People want to nip things in the bud so it doesn't get crazy. But let's be a little bit more objective in the way we're looking at things and not just be quick to call something because it has a name. don't point at it and say that's what it is just because it has a name. Because it might not be that. You ain't gonna call a wolf a dog. It might be in the same family, but it ain't a dog. So you might not be able to prescribe it the same, and it might not need the same care or same attention or the same medicine or any medicine at all. And once that happens, capitalism is going to spread in, it's going to promote it, it's going to cause an overreaction, it's going to cause an overhealth. And speaking of mental health, I got to go into this thing with Cam Newton. Listen, man, this is why my personal reason, I don't want my son playing in these youth football leagues. I don't want him being involved in AAU because what the culture of hip-hop that I love and social media has done is they've given some people confidence to be a little more boisterous than they need to be. Listen, if you're a youth coach of anything, it's not about you. You're a coach. It's about them. Only reason the camera should ever be on y'all or hear y'all talking is if y'all got an explanation. If y'all just talked about the program y'all doing. Not sitting up here talking about the motherfucking how cold you are or bragging like you some WWE superstar. Like, no, get off the gas. And what's happening is you have a lot of these guys that have a hip-hop mentality, and because social media give a lot of people a second chance at maybe being something they wasn't able to be, which is famous, a lot of these cats, a lot of these clowns, want to have a camera in their face when they talking shit, and they're being boisterous, they're being like a rapper, or they're being like a wrestler or some bullshit like that, and it comes off distasteful as fuck, and it's taken away from the kids that it needs to be. You see them, sometimes as parents too, at these games. You've seen videos of them. And so that's some mental health shit right there that needs to be examined, called immaturity. Niggas need to grow the fuck up. And I've seen the thing where the guy said Cam was talking shit, or he's been talking shit for years, and it's been an ongoing thing. Whether that's true or not, because I'm not there and I don't participate in it, I don't know what's going on in Atlanta, I have no clue. But even if that is the case, that's definitely not how you handle a situation like that, especially at an event that's supposed to be about the kids, not about the adults. But once again, it's your boy, the Almighty Nicodemus, Power 7 Podcast. Peace.